Good evening, folks. It's time for another. Sorry, because I'm phlegm in my throat. It's time for another video on this channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about two different things. First little bit is tips for contacting the Majeena. You could probably use them for Sabetjana too, but they don't have subterranean habitations on Earth. To my knowledge, anyway, and they need more like breathing apparatus and stuff, and they're not that we're all trying to get laid with cryptoterrestrials, but they're not sexually compatible to my knowledge. Long story short, Majeena are, in my opinion, closer to us as far as evolution and stuff. Anywho, I digress. Yeah. First, I'm gonna mention CE5. If you're not familiar, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. It's human initiated contact with extra or cryptoterrestrials. In my case, it was a cryptoterrestrial. Kind of pioneered by Dr. Stephen Greer, and he, he's got claims of beings coming in from other galaxies, which could very well be true. The way I did CE5 was I reached out to a specific group and I got a response. And I've got a previous video, and you can listen all about that. Hear me blah 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 about how that worked. But research CE5, that's one way to do it. Another good way, or maybe even a little better, or a little bit more direct, is to go to well-known haunted areas, be it an old town, a rural area, somebody's household that has had poltergeist activity, and let the Majeena, I'm not going to say phenomenon because that's stupid. I'm going to rant on that on the second part of this video. Let them know that you know who they are. You can... Hang on. One good way to signal to them that you know who they are, and I'm sorry, this shirt is a big pile of shit right now, is show them this glyph, which is their signal for... symbol for Orion's belt. Play them perhaps on a Bluetooth speaker or something the Sierra sounds, which is Majeena language. That's on it's on Ryan Musgrave Evans' channel. He's taking a break, or maybe popcorn fragment. Permanent break. Crumbs on the floor. Good thing I vacuum. For the time being, and he's dedicating himself to research and other endeavors. But that is on his channel. I'll post the link in the description for the Sierra sounds. Things of that nature. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve that I'm thinking about. I'm not going to tell yet because I kind of want to see what actually happens when it gets warm enough in Michigan. Because Michigan, like I said in previous videos, I think you got to get higher than... Fuck. Oh, sorry. F. Free country. Probably at least 70 or some degrees, maybe even 80 average temperature on your average day for them to be comfortable to return to to that specific habitation. So with that being said, I'm going to be sorry, HE top of the note. This is stupid. Lost my train of thought. With that being said, Oh yeah, I've got some tricks up my sleeve that I'm hoping to get some video footage of, because it will make me stick out like a sore thumb to the Majeena, even more so than like the little tips I gave that will probably help anybody get some kind of contact experience. Okay, we're going to move this into a 3-part video. The next section is goals for contact. My personal goals. It's what I consider valuable. I would like us to move to, sooner rather than later, a position of, rather than calling this a phenomenon or an unknown strange thing, I'd rather be communicating with another group of people. I know there were treaties made with Eisenhower way back 50s that kind of prevented this kind of thing, and imagine a kind of half-ass kind of play with ghost hunters pretending to be ghosts, but they really want to interact more openly, and these stupid treaties that are primitive Homo sapien idiots got involved with. Oh, we can't get in league with those people because it'll mess up the economic paradigm, even though in 60 or 70 years we'll have destroyed the environment so much the economic paradigm won't matter anymore, because imagine we'll either strike down our technology and millions or billions of people will die, or we'll have to evolve anyway. So, that aside, that was fun, but I lost my train of thought again. Oh yeah. Kind of. It's not a phenomenon. These are people. They're more advanced people. They're from a different place in the space-time continuum for the multiverse. They're smarter than us. They got a bigger brain casing than we do. Give them respect. Learn from them. Learn to enjoy activities together. So I guess I'm going to say my paranormal... No, not even paranormal. I'm not even going to say that. Because it's normal. They are a part of reality. They are a part of the multiverse. They are a part of our universe. Screw paranormal. Screw paranormal. They are normal. They're better than normal. So, back to the point at hand, whatever that is. My goal, for me, and if other people want to adopt this, that's fine. That's up to you guys. We got to think for ourselves. We got to stand up for ourselves and do what we think is right. Is to get to an open contact situation. Or no more subterfuge, stealth. Treat these people like they think we're ghosts. None of that is needed anymore. What we want is to find fellowship. Our common ground, per se. I would like to go with my secrets not yet revealed, but will be later revealed in a further video of my techniques to lure them out. To have a scenario where they uncloak, sit down, they have some nice food and maybe a mutual beverage that we can both enjoy, and talk and get to know each other and learn and be friends. And I am 1,000,000,000% confident if that thing starts happening with all kinds of people, that all the stupid differences that our primitive society has with race, economic differences, blah, 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 will start to dissolve. Granted, it's going to take some time. We got some primitive influences going on here that are trying to keep us divided. But the fact that Majeena want to go forward with disclosure means, in my opinion, that they have some faith in us. Like David Bowie, obviously a Majeena experiencer in the song Starman, in the chorus, said he'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks it'd blow our mind. That's somewhat still accurate. It's going to blow people's minds. Some people won't be ready for it. I am. And I know so many others are. People who are into civilization, progress, peace, the stars, multidimensional possibilities. These kinds of people. And I believe it'll overcome the darkness. Because I believe the darkness is caused by inequality. Which by, as you've heard me rant on before, Majeena don't have inequality. At least not among themselves. And I'm not an expert. I'm a student. And they give people kind of cool little names. Like they gave Charles Hall teacher's pet or friend of the teacher. And if I was to ever request a name among them, I would say the student. And that's up to them if they want to call me the student. Like, I'm not going to, like, be presumptuous and arrogant and say that I'm the student, even though I am a student. But if they want to name me that, or we talk about it and say, hey, I'm Jeff, a Homo sapien, you can also call me the student, because they're like that. They like to give, like, these kind of general names. And we can get into that later. The information is out there. But otherwise, oh yeah. Enough of that part. Part 3 now, which I didn't even know I'd even have part 2. I thought I'd have just a part 1 and 2. No, I didn't know I'd have a part 3. I thought there's just 2 parts, but it's the third part. This is something I was thinking about at work today, and I'm blessed that I have a job where I can do my job and listen to earphones. The terms UAP and UFO, I think, are outdated at this point. And they're so entrenched into our zeitgeist, our psyche, that everybody identifies with it. So I don't expect this to catch on. And, of course, it wouldn't yet because I'm just some dude with, like, 7 or 8 subscribers and just started doing podcasts and stuff. I would like to call UAP or UFOs Antigravity craft, AGC. Because that's, regardless of our knowledge of how it works or who's piloting or what species is behind it, AGC, that's a good definition in my 2 cents. These craft do not operate by traditional definitions of lift, aerodynamics, impervious to it. Whether we understand the physics or not, they are defying gravity. They are defying inertial effects. Like Star Trek, inertial dampeners. Gene Roddenberry was briefed on this stuff. He knew what he was talking about. They are defying all of that. So, here's the other side. Another little point. Say, you see a jetliner, say 34,000 feet up. Way up. You see the contrail. You see that contrail. You call it an airplane. You can't see the airline. You don't know who's piloting it. You don't know what country it's from. Could be an international flight. But you don't go, oh, it's a UAP. Oh, it's a UFO. We don't know what it is because we're too embarrassed to admit that we don't know everything. No, you call it an airplane. You call it an airplane. So, I've got another part to this rant. If you see what I would used to consider as a UFO or UAP performing in ways that are beyond our brilliant scientists, call it, or I'll call it, you don't have to, but consider calling it an anti-gravity craft. And if you see an orb that's a brilliant flashing ball of fire, call it an orb. Circular, right? Right? And the rabbit hole gets deeper here. I'm getting angry, but in a good way. So think for a second. The stigma of this topic, which I consider in some ways a form of racism. Not racism, but a form of discrimination. And I'm not beating up on mainstream religions, but many religions worldwide, religions can be created. And they can be applied for people for tax-exempt free status. And it's built on many times faith. Faith on ancient texts. Now this. Anti-gravity craft. AGC. There's a plethora of evidence. Anecdotal. Sometimes physical. Multiple witnesses, multiple radar systems, multiple sensor devices tracking this. And I'm not going to get too blunt here, but you got so-called mainstream scientists who are more concerned about their human ego than actual science. Oh, there's just no evidence of that, because if I talked about that, I wouldn't be popular on Twitter. My friend. He's not my friend. He's a disgrace. He's nothing to do with science. If this were the days of Galileo, he would be the one that wouldn't look through the telescope to see the wonders of the cosmos. A disgrace. That individual and ones like it will be left in the dust. Because this is a moment, a paradigm shift, where the world will no longer be flat. The cosmos will no longer revolve around the earth. We will no longer be alone. Not just with aliens, which at this point, I'm not even really an alien researcher, but the multiverse. And I'm glad those individuals, their arrogance will be shamed. And our species will be shamed. Then it's up for us to rise up. And after that, if we don't, well, we're responsible for billions of people dying for getting our technology slapped down. I don't think that'll happen. It hasn't happened yet. an alternate path that's being proposed. But anywho, that's good for tonight. So, Majeena, I'm gonna have some videos, hopefully some videos, as Michigan's slow to warm, and I'm sorry for all the rants on our stupid species. It really just is a childish bunch of assholes who need to grow up. We're like a bunch of 8-year-olds with a bunch of fancy toys who don't know what the hell we're doing. And I have faith. I've seen the change in this beauty in humanity. Like in the song Starman. Don't blow it because it's all worthwhile. And I believe in the potential. The potential of the Black Star. We'll talk about the Black Star later. So, good night, multiverse speed, and we'll conquer together.